What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So very similar to how we just talked about the Pelicans being the worst team in the West, that's basically what we're doing today with the Utah Jazz, where they're also one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. Not that they had like crazy expectations this season or anything, but they definitely have not been very good. So I want to jump in today and do basically what I just did in the Pelicans video, where we somewhat blow it up, probably not to that certain extent, but definitely trade some pieces away, such maybe as Lauri Markkanen, Jordan Clarkson, and some other guys that could be potentially moved here for Utah. So let's go ahead and jump in and do this Utah Jazz rebuild NBA 2K25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. So the Utah Jazz find themselves 9-26 on the season. They didn't have like crazy expectations going into the season, so I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, the Jazz are super disappointing, they should be locked and loaded playoff team. No, obviously, they're still kind of in the middle of the rebuild. They traded Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell away, and this is the result of the roster currently as of right now. Now, there was a lot of rumors about Markkanen being traded, but then, of course, they extended him. He is not trade eligible at the deadline this season, so it would have to wait till the offseason if the Jazz wanted to move him or if some team wanted to trade for him or whatever. John Collins, Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson. There is a couple guys that I think we can move at the deadline, so we'll probably start there. And then the offseason, I do think we're going to trade Lauri Markkanen away. Also, we need a good draft pick, obviously, so we'll go ahead and see how this starts out. But 9-26 on the season so far. Hopefully, we continue to be bad at the deadline, and then we could turn this team around through the draft and such, as everything else. So we are going to start here with the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll be sending Jordan Clarkson to the Grizzlies for Luke Kennard and a top 3 2027 first-round pick. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Obviously, the Grizzlies are a good team out west, and they want to get better off their bench, so Clarkson could make a ton of sense for them. So we're going to go ahead and send him over to the Grizzlies, and that will be a done deal there. So that's a good start at the deadline, in my opinion. The other guy I kind of want to explore the idea of trading is John Collins, because I do believe that a team might want him. He's had a pretty good season for Utah, so let's go ahead and see if there's any teams that are wanting John Collins' services. So obviously Utah, I think, traded a second to get him at one point. So if you can get more than that from somebody, that'd be a win-win. So let's see if anybody is lining up to do such a thing. So Orlando's offering us a first. Dallas, what else we got? McCollum in a first, but we'd have to trade a first. No, thank you. Fred VanVleet, Chris Paul, Nurkic, and Russ O'Neal is interesting. I do think Phoenix could maybe use a guy like John Collins just because they need a little bit of everything right now. But I don't know if we want Nurkic's contract to Russ O'Neal, and we're good on the trade. Let's just do that. No, we obviously want to pick for John Collins. We're going to do it. If there's no good offers here, which there is some interesting ones here, like Isaac in a first from the Magic, Malik Monk in a second, no thank you. Rozier in a first from Miami. I don't think Miami's gonna be in the business of trading first, especially if they're about to trade Jimmy Butler away, probably. So none of these pretty much make sense. I guess Milwaukee would be interesting, trying to make a change in their lineup, but Brook Lopez obviously has been kind of a key of what they've done for quite some time lately. So I'll probably just hang on to John Collins. We move Jordan Clarkson. I know there's been some rumors about Kessler as well in the past, but I kind of want to hang on to him. We could also look at the idea of maybe trading Sexton away, who's been really good too. We could keep him around as well as like a core part of our future, but just in case if some team wants to play ball and give us a first as well, I'm down. So Chicago, I want it to make sense, of course, too, if we're going to do it. The Malik Monk, no. What else we got? Anything else that is interesting to us? The Blazers, no. And Draymond Green, no. So yeah, probably not. So we'll just stick with the Jordan Clarkson trade for now. We'll submit the rest of the season. We have won some games lately, but hopefully we continue to just be bad, because obviously I do not want to be a good team. So we'll see how it goes. I'll see y'all at the end of the first season. So Shea wins MVP, Missy is your rookie of the year, Naz Reid sixth man Wemby defensive player, Amin Thompson most improved, and Jokic your clutch player, and Mark is your coach of the year. So here's your NBA first team with Shea, Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Wembanyama. Probably not gonna have anybody for us on here, obviously. Oh, Walker Kessler made an all defensive team, so that's cool. But we did miss the playoffs, of course. We are the 14th seed out west, which is kind of how it looks right now in real life. But here is your player stats. So you had 20 from Colin Sexton and 20 from Lauri Markkanen, 15 from John Collins, and 15 from Keontae George. So let's go ahead and submit the playoffs. And obviously, we need to see where our lottery pick ends up, because that's going to be the most important part of the video. As usual, when you do these teams that are not good. So the Mavericks beat the Celtics in 4. Here are your retirements. And now we're on to the lottery. So fingers crossed we get a good pick here. We may even have someone else's pick down the line, but we're projected the third best pick here. So we'll see where that ends up. Hopefully we stay in the top 4. Actually, I'd rather stay in the top 2 if possible. and we will fall to 6th. Damn, that's brutal, man. Why do I always have bad luck lately? The Hawks via the Lakers get number 1, which is wild. Wizards number 2. I think that's from the DeJounte Murray trade, so the Hawks really lucked out. But yeah, unfortunately, we have the 6th overall pick, which is really unfortunate, and it sucks. But I do have an idea of a draft night trade I want to make, and I do think there's a team that makes a ton of sense for it. I want to send Lauri Markkanen to Detroit really badly, and I don't know exactly when Markkanen becomes trade eligible. This may not be, maybe it's not to this point just yet, so maybe we can wait on it potentially and later in the offseason, I guess. So I won't do it, never mind, because I think it could be like in, you know, later stages where he's trade eligible. We do have 2 firsts, but Markkanen is someone I do want to trade this offseason. We'll see what we can get in the draft. So number 1 is going to be Ace Bailey to Atlanta. Number 2 is going to be Dylan Harper to Washington. Kirby Fly is going to Houston. Noah goes to Brooklyn, and then VJ Edgecombe goes to New Orleans. I'm kind of glad VJ Edgecombe went because I didn't want to draft him today. I had him in yesterday's video, or a video. Yeah, it was yesterday's video. Okay, so we have Igor on the board. We have Trey Johnson. We have Jeremiah Fears, Caspers, Asa. What else do we want? Is there anybody else of interest? Jeremiah Fears, don't know much about him. Boogie Flan is definitely interesting. Igor is interesting too. Which one do we want is the question. I don't know. Do I want Trey Johnson? Because to me, we have our point guard and Keontae George going forward, so I kind of don't want to go with Boogie Flan. I do think I am going to take Trey Johnson here. 6'6" shooting guard, ceiling of Hall of Fame with Dwayne Wade. So let's go ahead and do it. Trey Johnson will be the pick out of Texas for us. We'll be taking picking here as well. We'll take Rocky first, and then we'll take Colin Murray next. So that will be, we ultimately draft. So that will feel pretty good to have gotten Trey Johnson. Could have taken Igor too, don't get me wrong, but feeling good about the Trey Johnson edition with Rocky and Colin Murray Boyles later as well. Collins declines his player option, so he'll be walking free agency and getting a bag. I really wanted to move him at the deadline. Didn't really see anything that made a ton of sense, so we are going to lose him for nothing, unfortunately. But here are the rest of your free agents to worry about. And then for free agency, we have Luke Kennard and Micah Potter as our bird rights, so probably won't worry about them too much. Probably won't be spending big in free agency either. I will definitely not be giving John Collins $30 million a year. I cannot do that, so he's going to have to go somewhere else for that. So George and Colliers are pouring on rotation, which I am rocking with that. We just drafted Trey Johnson, obviously with the starting shooting guard going forward. Sexton is still somebody I want to move as well. Markkanen will be moved this offseason. Kyle Filipowski and Taylor Hendricks right now. And then Kessler and Eubanks, I guess, is center rotation. Obviously, this isn't going to be an overnight process, but I do want to move Lauri Markkanen. I already kind of have an idea on where I want to trade him to. So let's take a look at, you know, if that offer, you know, like any of those offers pop up. So not really see anything just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and build out the trade that I want, and we'll see if we can make it happen without having to use like 2K trade override for superstar trades. And I'm not going to use override because I don't think Markkanen is like necessarily a superstar. He's a damn good player, but we're going to just try to build our own trade and make something realistic happen on our own. So here's my hope to get from Markkanen is to get at least 2 firsts from Detroit, hopefully. So Tobias Harris and Fontecchio from Markkanen. I am trying to get 2 first-round picks out of them as well. Let's see if they would do this. I don't know if they would. They want Rocky and they'll give me Bobby. I guess that's not terrible. It is our first-round pick we just drafted, obviously, but we do get a young player in return who's not as good. So that does suck, but ultimately, I don't hate it. We'll try to do something maybe a little bit different. So, is there anybody else I could throw in here or like squeeze in here? So, like, not gonna throw like Cody Williams in here. Like, what about Johnny Juzang? Does that make a difference at all in this trade? They want a second. They'll give me a second. We can absolutely do this. So we're going to be sending Lauri Markkanen to Detroit. I actually think it makes a ton of sense for them. So Markkanen to Detroit. We get 2 unprotected first-round picks for Markkanen services. So that feels pretty good after the season he just had. So I will absolutely take that. We have control of Detroit's future, which is good. So Markkanen will be paired with Cade Cunningham. I'm moving the power forward for him because he makes more sense there for them. And boom, I love that trade. So now we have Markkanen completely gone, clean slate. We do have Tobias Harris's contract, but it's the expiring one, so no big deal there. And we kept Rocky out of the trade as well. So all we need now, to me, is hopefully trade Colin Sexton away because I didn't want to keep him going forward. I want to move him as well if possible. So we'll see what we can get for him after we just traded Markkanen away. So 1 first from anybody like Chicago. I don't know if the business or Chicago should be in the business of trading first, though. But we're basically doing that. This what's interesting. Like, I would love Nemhard, but I don't think Indiana does that. I guess I'm going to try to go build my own trade really quickly. Ooh, Sexton is interesting for Keldon. I actually think this one is interesting, very interesting, because I can see San Antonio maybe taking Colin Sexton and having use for him. Keldon Johnson, has never, like, I feel like he's expendable for San Antonio. Now, an unprotected Charlotte pick, I think is crazy. Like that's insane. But let's say we get like one of their like future firsts. I definitely think that could be something that makes sense. They want a second, they'll give me 2 firsts. Wow, you're generous. I think 2 firsts is a little unrealistic for Sexton, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just gonna make it 1, and they are gonna say no, we want to give you 2 firsts regardless, which is just insane. Screw it. Sure, San Antonio, you want to do it, let's do it. So we get Colin Sexton out of here, and now we have kind of who I want to roll with going forward. So I'm feeling really good about how we clean the slate. So just like I said that we did in the Pelicans video, we have cleaned house a little bit as well, and now we have the guys we want to continue to build around. So to me, we do need to move our rotation around a little bit because we have too many small forwards right now. Keldon's probably going to move to the backup shooting guard probably, so let's go ahead and do that right now. So he'll move to backup shooting guard. He's not going to be a big part of the future regardless, so Keldon backup 2. Sensabaugh and Simone will rock that, and then Tobias Harris should regress that he's just going to be out of the rotation probably. And Eubanks will be our backup center for now unless we decide to sign somebody else, which I probably won't. So like I'll probably just rock with Eubanks. There's like Zach Collins or Charles down here or Nas Reed, but I'm good. Let's just go in with this team. We should tank even further. So that should be good. Kessler's our best player right now, which obviously isn't the greatest thing in the world, but in due time, it's going to continue to get better. Trey Johnson's going to have to be like probably the guy that blossoms here. He needs to be the guy we build around probably. So hopefully he becomes that guy for us. I'll probably give him a very high shot tendency immediately. We do have to cut 1 player, so let's go ahead and do that right now. And it will be probably Elijah Harkless. Apologies, Elijah Harkless. I don't know if you have any affiliation with Mo Harkless, but I used to love Mo Harkless as a Blazers fan. So appreciate Mo Harkless for his services back then. But let's get the rotation after everybody has been traded away, or I guess we let Collins walk too. So the NBA projects us to be one of the worst teams in the NBA, which I could definitely agree with. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rotation. So it's going to be Keldon George. They have Keldon Johnson starting, but that's about to change in just a second. Hendricks, Sensabaugh, Kessler, Filipowski, Tobias Harris, Trey Johnson, Drew Eubanks. And honestly, well, I guess Tobias Harris will get minutes because he's a vet or whatever. But Trey Johnson is absolutely starting over Keldon Johnson. No doubt in my mind that's going to be the case. So we're going to take some minutes away from the bench a little bit, especially with Tobias Harris. I don't care about him playing at all. But I want Trey Johnson to play a ton of minutes this season. I want him to be the guy or become the guy for us, hopefully. So let's look at his shot tendency out of the draft. It is going to be a 75. So let's push that up just a little bit further. We'll go 85. Keldon George is a 74. Sensabaugh is a 64. So Trey Johnson should have a clean floor to be the leading scorer here. Now, we shouldn't be in the playoffs or anything, but hopefully we just show strides of development in a team that's building towards the future. We've done that this offseason at this previous trade deadline, trading Clarkson, traded Markkanen, we traded Sexton. We got quite a few draft picks for doing so as well. So we're in the correct direction, and we're probably going to get a good pick this offseason, whether it's our pick or someone else's, because we have a lot of future picks from different teams. We'll see how this offseason ends up, because we will not be in the play-in or playoffs if I had to guess. That boy Luka Doncic is back in the MVP running. Trey Johnson does win rookie. Holy crap. Okay, I wasn't expecting that many points per game, but 26 points per game out of the gate is insane and exactly what we needed. Anthony Sixman, women defensive player, Scoot most improved, and Melo clutch player. Yeah, Trey Johnson is going to be a damn good player for us going forward. I mean, that's all NBA team numbers, dude. He's not going to be on here, but holy crap, I love what I've seen out of him. Kessler makes it all offensive first team, so this team is already shaping up very quickly. 26 points, and was pretty efficient on top of that. So the guy out of Texas ends up being an absolute beast for us. Obviously, like I said, there wasn't anybody like contesting him scoring-wise, but George still averaged 20 with them. So Keldon George and Trey Johnson's backcourt going forward, it's going to be fun, man. Sensabaugh averaged 15 at the small forward spot as well. Filipowski with 10 and 6 and 10 and 12 from Kessler with 3 blocks. Yeah, this team definitely has some roles already figured out. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's only the second season, and I'm feeling fantastic. So we're going to have Dallas and Toronto, and Dallas goes on to win it all. That's 2 in a row for Dallas, right? Didn't they beat the Celtics last year? Yep. All right. So lottery time. I do believe 2K is going to have our pick going to the Thunder, and I'm pretty sure that will not be the case. Yeah, so pretty sure Utah's pick is protected again. Do we have anybody else's pick here? No, I'm disappointed. Thought we would have maybe someone else's pick here, but we do not. So let's see where our pick ends up, and it's going to be number 4. So it stays at 4 this time, so it's actually in the top 4, which we'll be happy with. I'm assuming, do we have anybody's pick in this draft, or is it maybe it's later draft? So we don't have anybody's pick in this draft, which is disappointing. That sucks, but it is what it is. Unless if I'm just blind as a bat and don't see anything. So let's see if I just didn't. Yeah, so we don't have any picks. So, I mean, dude, holy moly, look how many 2027 firsts we have. Cavalier, dude, that's actually insane. That's actually insane. We have so many 2027 firsts, it's not even funny. Wow, I didn't realize we had that much. There's like 0 chance we won't get a chance at AJ next year. Or no, that's this draft, isn't it? Am I stupid? Yeah, no, it's this draft. Sorry. So there's 0 chance we won't have like we're going to have a good chance at whatever top prospect there is in next year's draft, which is wild. But all right, I'm going to go get my pick back from the Thunder. Do we just bring back Will Hardy, or do we go different? I'll bring back Will Hardy. Why not? Let's bring him back. So let's bring him back. Still building with them. And now let's head to draft night and let's go get our pick back from OKC. All right, so let's see how this draft order goes. Number 1 will be AJ to Chicago, which makes a ton of sense. Cameron Boozer to New York. Caleb Wilson to LA, and then this is where we will be picking. So Darren Peterson is probably the pick, honestly. Yeah, I think we will take Darren Peterson here. So we'll have Darren Peterson and Trey Johnson as a duo going forward. I feel pretty solid about that. So welcome to Utah, Darren Peterson. I wish he was just an inch taller. But still, 7-9 overall of this draft. I mean, getting him a number 4 overall is a steal, so we'll take that. Steve Luke, I'm definitely fine declining that. We'll accept the rest of these, and then qualifying offers. Walker Kessler is a free agent. Now, I will say, I don't think there's a single player that we don't have a chance at this coming off season. So Kessler, it really bothers me how much money he asked for, dude. It really sucks because I don't think he's ever getting that much in real life. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But power forward position, I would prefer to upgrade in the future, but Kyle Filipowski is fine. Obviously, well, Taylor Hendricks might continue to develop there too. But we're definitely bringing back Kessler. Keldon Johnson's money could be used somewhere else. Like, there is definitely, I mean, we can go after Luka Doncic this offseason technically. We're not going to, but we could. We have Paulo Banchero as a free agent. Is there anybody else of interest we could just go after really quickly to bring them to Utah? Because, like, the one position I would upgrade is absolutely the power forward spot. So, you know what? Screw it. Let's throw it back at Paulo Banchero. He's not even interested in coming here, but we're going to throw it back at him anyway. He has no other offers. I mean, Orlando should absolutely match that. If they don't, I'm actually going to get pissed off, to be honest with you, because it makes no sense for them not to match it. Okay, so he does accept. They match it. I was about to say, Orlando, you better match that offer sheet. That makes no sense if you just let him walk. So I'm just like, I don't know. Durant, I'm not signing at 37 years old. Don't want Jaren Jackson either because he's just not a good 2K player usually. So I'm going to, although our defense would be crazy with him and Kessler down low, I wouldn't lie to you. But I'm going to leave my money open. So we're going to the last day of free agency to sign Kessler to as cheap as possible because that is a nice tool I like to use. So give him a 4-year deal. Dude, he still wants like 30 million. Okay. Can we get you down to like 25 at least? Like, would you accept 25? No, he doesn't. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's say it's 3 years. Let's say it's 27. What about that? You do that? Yeah, he will. Okay. It's a little bit cheaper than we could have gotten him earlier in the offseason, but wow, Trey Johnson up to an 82. I thought he'd develop even more, but George's up to an 84. Filipowski, 81. Cody Williams might insert himself in the rotation as well. So is there anybody I just clearly want to trade away? So George and Collier, Trey Johnson and Peterson. We're definitely going to be moving Peterson or Trey Johnson to 3. Probably Peterson. Sensabaugh, as much as I like him, which he was pretty good for us last year, I definitely think we probably have to, he may not start this next season. Hendricks, Filipowski, Colin Murray-Boyles, and then Kessler and Rocky. Okay. Honestly, I want to make a move to upgrade a power forward position right now. And I don't think we should, but dude, there's no way we're going to be able to draft how many draft picks? This is like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's no way we can add 8 new players to this roster in this upcoming draft. And one of these picks is going to be super valuable. So there shouldn't be a single player we can't get in via trade. So I'm going to see if there's a player we could trade for because I want all over it in the worst way possible. So I know the odds of the Hawks trade Jaylen Johnson away is very slim, but I don't trade for him very often. So I want to see if I get Jaylen Johnson. They just signed De'Aaron Fox, but they do have, didn't they draft? Yeah, they drafted Ace Bailey. So maybe Jaylen Johnson becomes expendable to them because they can move Ricochet to the 4. I don't know. But I want Jaylen Johnson, although Ricochet would be interesting too. But he's making a little too much money. So I'm going to see if we can get Jaylen, or he's making too little money because I want to dump some salary into Atlanta here. So Jaylen Johnson is the target here. So I'm offering Keldon Johnson's salary, and I'm also going to offer Kyle Filipowski as a trade chip. So Kyle Filipowski actually has some value too. So let's see which of these picks is valuable. Any of them? The Lakers pick is valuable. Okay. So let's remove the Lakers pick really quick, or not remove the Lakers pick. Let's see what else we got. So we already checked those out. It was the Hawks pick. We trade their pick back. The Spurs pick, the Timberwolves pick. All right, so let's move that. Let's go to the Jazz pick. And okay, so the Jazz and the Lakers pick are the most valuable. So that should, I mean, I honestly do believe we could probably give them their pick back. And then let's say we give them this Grizzlies pick. Is that enough? No, it's not. Okay. What if I give you the Cavaliers pick as well? And they do agree. So we trade 3 firsts, which is fine because we had plenty of firsts, like I said. So now Jaylen Johnson becomes a new power forward of this Utah Jazz team to replace Markkanen, who was there recently. So Jaylen Johnson, 13-9 last year, should be a ton of fun. Like I said, I don't think I've ever really gotten him a video, so I'm kind of excited about having him today. But obviously Trey Johnson's going to score a ton. Darren Peterson's shot tendency is pretty good out of the draft too. We're going to move Peterson to small forward right now, and he will go up to an 81. That looks good, and we'll look at the rotation altogether going into season number 3, where honestly do believe playoffs could be a conversation for us. Not gonna lie to you guys, I'm loving how this rotation looks. Keontae George, Trey Johnson, Darren Peterson, Jaylen Johnson, Kessler, Hendricks, Sensabaugh, Cody Williams, and Rocky. I mean, I'm feeling good about it. Collier's out of rotation, so is Colin Murray Boyles, but those guys will continue to develop and potentially get in here eventually. But Trey Johnson and Peterson should be the scorers here. Jaylen Johnson will help out too, and so will Keontae George. So this team, I think, should make the playoffs, or at least be a play-in team. Let's see if we start out hot, and we are 2-3 on the season so far. Maybe things turn around, but hopefully we make the playoffs. I do believe this team is good enough to do so. We'll see what happens, though. So not quite a playoff team just yet, but I do think as soon as next year, we will be in the conversation. Unfortunately, we were still not good enough. I thought this would be the year where we get in the playoffs, but I do think with, obviously, Trey Johnson and Peterson developing this offseason, that could change very quickly. With 22 from Trey Johnson, 18 from George, 17.5, and then 15 and 14. So overall, pretty happy with what I've seen. We all are aware we're about to have a ton of draft picks in this upcoming draft. Detroit with Markkanen goes on to win it all, so shout out to the Pistons. That's cool. Is he starting for them still? Let's see. He is. So yeah, they have Dice Nails, Asar, Jalen Darren, Jay Ivey off the bench. Yeah, shout out to the Pistons, man. All right, well, let's get into the lottery again because we all know how this might end up. So we're projected 2 lottery picks, 1 from LA and 1 our own pick. So those are the 2 picks that were the best, and I didn't trade either of them away for Jaylen Johnson, so feels good that we kept those ones. Let's see if we get lucky and jump up to 1 at all, and we do. Actually, funny enough, the Lakers pick was projected to be better, and our pick was projected to be worse, but somehow the Lakers pick fell down, and we jumped up to 1. So we also have 25 and 30 and 21 in this draft, so those are all 3 late first-round picks. So we'll be adding 2 lottery picks, and then in my opinion, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and trade these late 3 firsts to get future firsts in the future, because I don't think adding basically, so we're not going to trade. Let's trade 21. Let's just trade them individually. So does anybody want to like give me, so like Dallas wants to give me an unprotected first in the future. That's what I'm going to do right now, because I just don't think anybody we draft here is going to make the rotation anyway. So let's might as well not waste our time. So Cleveland is going to give me an unprotected pick. Sure, why not? And then even though we're never going to use these picks in this video, I definitely think we're winning a championship here soon. But we're getting no offers for the 30th overall picks. We'll just leave it. Okay, so on the draft, we get Brandon McCoy, or who's the best player in this draft? Costanza, McCoy, who could be a backup point guard. I guess that's probably who we'll take. Stokes, I know, is pretty good as well. So either way, we probably are feeling good about that. He'd probably be a good backup point guard right away. So let's go ahead and draft Brandon McCoy here. Start things off. So welcome to Utah, Mr. Brandon McCoy out of Rutgers. And then we have Taj Ariza or Elijah Williams. We'll take Taj Ariza here. So we'll let our assistant GM take the 30th overall pick. But I know Stokes was good too. But McCoy, Ariza, and Caden Allen, welcome. Gonna accept all these. I don't think we'll be doing anything in free agency other than obviously just re-signing our guys, because yeah, I am a firm believer that this team is about to win a championship very quickly. So let's just re-sign all 3 of them and rock with what we got again, because player progression, I believe, is going to look phenomenal, or at least I'm hoping that's the case. I think Trey Johnson should be up. Darren Peterson should be up like crazy. So yeah, this is what I expected. Trey Johnson 86, 86 Darren Peterson, 85 George, 83 Hendricks. So Maybe not as good as I was hoping, but still good regardless. So we will see how year number 4 goes, and hopefully this time we make it to the finals and win a championship, because I do believe we're at that point in the video. And honestly, I'm actually going to auto-generate the rookies, because I do believe this next season is going to be our championship season, even though 2K disagrees with that notion, which sucks because I want to be in the finals this season. So we'll see if that ends up working out that way. Maybe we need a backup 5 because our backup center isn't even in the rotation right now. But I guess we'll see how the record ends up. So far, not a good start, but hopefully we turn things around very quickly. So we are going to make an immediate move for a backup 5, and Dallas Mavericks are offering me Derek Lively. So yeah, sure, sign me up. I don't get Lively that often either. We're trading Rocky, Hendricks, and an unprotected first. We get Keon Anthony as well, who I believe it might be Carmelo Anthony's son, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, sign me up for that. So we're 8-10 on the season so far, but I'm hoping with Lively coming in, that's going to change here very soon. It does make our bench a little bit worse, or actually it probably makes it better with Lively off the bench now. So we'll see. 8-10 on the season right now, which is why I was like, you know what? I want to move very quickly and upgrade this. I think it's because we don't have a backup 5, and we're still kind of mid right now, but hopefully we get it together here very soon as we're starting to get a win streak going finally. So I get exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be a playoff team this year, and we absolutely were. I think the Lively trade helped out with our slow start, but Kessler makes all of it the second team again, which is nice. We are the 5th seed in the West, so we'll see how this all ends up. So we're not like a top 3 seed or anything, but you had 24 from Trey Johnson, 20 from Peterson, 16 from George, 15 from Jaylen Johnson, and 13.5 from Sensabaugh, 11 from McCoy. All right, so let's go take a look at the rotation now. So they want to start Derek Lively. I'm fine with either Lively, Kessler. I think both damn good centers, so we'll see, how this goes. So we get Sacramento round 1, and they have Brandon Miller, but other than that, I'm not that intimidated. Sabonis, who's probably starting to regress, Collins, Capella. I mean, I guess they have like a 3-headed monster at center. There's a lot of former Utah Jazz players here. But all right, someone to come around against them, and we will be up 3-2, and we'll be in a game 7 with them early on. So it is good to have gotten some playoff experience under our belt, but I would love to get even further playoff experience if we're able to beat the Kings here in game 7. We've had the lead this whole game so far, and if we can hang on, we're going to the second round, and we do. Peterson was huge, 37 in that one, 34 from Trey Johnson, lovely, but we do run into Dallas Mavericks. Now, we did steal Derek Lively from them, but obviously we gave them Taylor Hendricks, which Hendricks in his own right is a damn good player, but his shooting is down right now at 33% in the playoffs, but that might change. We'll see. So game 1 goes to us. Good start. Beat them by 5. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3 goes to them. Do we even the series? Nope. Down 3-1. So Dallas, of course, as we all usually know, is a different animal. But they're going to beat us here, I think. Yeah. So we're not quite right. Oh, wait a minute. We may not go home yet. Oh, we do. Wow. So false hope there for the first second. And now we'll be in year 5. So I guess my gamble of not loading a draft class was stupid. Let's go ahead and load our draft class. So probably won't be drafting too much. I'm still a firm believer in this rotation. I think it's just a matter of time before it all works out. And honestly, the team, I say this every time, but it's only going to get better from here. So we don't have a lottery pick though, which is good because I honestly prefer not to have one right now because we have just so many good players as it is. We have a full rotation, and McCoy is about to get better this offseason. Do we fire Will Hardy? No, I mean, we just made the playoffs with him and got a first round series victory, so that doesn't make any sense. All right, let's go to rookie signing. We got we had one first in that draft. I'm surprised. I thought we'd have more than that, but Trey Johnson, Peterson, Colin Murray, Boyles will accept, and then Collier and Cody Williams are both free agents, so probably bring both of them back, but their price tags could be a little bit more expensive than I'd actually. We won't bring back Collier. Let's just not even do that because we don't even need him anymore. We have McCoy, who's about to take his position anyway. Cody Williams, I believe, was our backup 3 last year, if I'm not mistaken. Although we probably could move on from him as well because we could move like Ariza there. But yeah, we probably renounce both of them, to be honest with you. So we'll renounce Cody Williams and Collier. I don't know how Cody Williams did for us last year. So yeah, nothing too impressive. So they can both go somewhere else because we have a full rotation with what we have currently right now. And we'll move things around as needed. So let's just go to player progression and let's see what we got going on at player progression. So we have 89 and 89, which is good. Would prefer like 90, 92, but that's fine too. Let's take a look. So we got George, McCoy up to 84 as well. Totally gloss over that. So who do we want to move to the 3 is the question. So probably Ariza, if I had to guess. Let's move Ariza to the 3, and he'll be an 81 overall. So Yeah, that feels good. So now we'll have a full rotation once again. Letting Collier and Cody Williams walk was probably the most necessary thing to do because we just had a full team as is. All right. Now, this will be the season where it all goes well. And we'll see if that ends up being the case. I'm a firm believer that it is our time because we got the first seed. McCoy wins 6th man of the year. I mean, it's all there for us. Will Hardy just won coach of the year as well. It's all there. It's ready to happen. So Dallas is on the other side of the bracket, so we don't have to deal with them until the conference finals. So hopefully someone eliminates them. Don't got to deal with them at all. 23 from Trey Johnson, 23 from Peterson, 17.5 from George, and 14 from Jaylen Johnson. I mean, this team is fun, and I expect a championship. So let's get it done. New Orleans round 1. Now, we have to deal with Zion, Brandon Ingram, and VJ Edgecombe, so this could be tough, but I am not a guy that... Okay, that was closer than I would have wanted it to be, but we beat them in 7, and now we play Wemby and the Spurs, which I'll give more respect to because Wembanyama, we all know, is a different force. But we're up 1-0, up 2-0, so far so good, but Pelicans made us sweat there a little bit, and now the Spurs are doing the same thing. Oh boy, we are going to have another game 7, aren't we? Or are we about to just get eliminated in 6? Please dig deep here and get a game 7 to happen because I cannot go home in round 2. And we are going home in round 2. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. We lose by 2. It's probably going to be Dallas to San Antonio as usual, and the Spurs beat us. Bulls go on to win it all out of all people. AJ wins the championship for the Bulls. Okay, well, you know what? This team was freaking good, and we should have won, but we didn't. I'll sayonara. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see y'all on Monday. It's Crushables. I'm staying. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.